Hello everyone, I am Surbhi Sharma, Assistant Professor from Ramesh Institute of Vocational and Technical Education. This lecture is for Industrial Pharmacy 1, that is BP 502T, and the topic of discussion is basically parenteral products, production procedure, facilities and control of aseptic area. How we are going to manufacture the particular parenteral products, what are the things that we need to take care of. Processing of parenterals. Processing of parenterals, as I told you in the previous lectures also, parenteral products need to be sterile, they need to be pyrogen free, they need to be enough for providing in the particular medication. Production of parenteral products require aseptic and safe environment. Why? Because obviously it need to be having a pyrogen free environment, it should be no contamination, no microbial contamination should be there, it should be pyrogen free, it should be free from foreign particles. That is why we need to incorporate aseptic and safe environment before manufacturing it. The processing of parenterals is incorporated by which sterile products are filled and packaged in a manner that maintain the sterility. Sterility need to be maintained when we are making the parenteral products, when we are formulating the parenteral products. Parenteral products plays a very major role when we are working with obviously for rapid action, rapid onset of action. How we are going to go for processing of parenterals? This is a flowchart you can see over here. Processing of parenterals. We have cleaning of containers. First of all, we are going to clean. We are going to discuss each and every point one by one. Okay. First of all, we have cleaning of containers. Whenever we are going to make any kind of formulation, we need to make sure that the container should be clean. If the container is not clean, obviously the another product, another drug entity we are going to add inside it, it will obviously degrade the previous one. It will degrade the particular drug entity we are going to add. We have collection of materials. We are going to collect the materials, we are going to collect the excipients we are going to add. In the previous lecture, we have learned about vehicles, additives, all these we are going to collect. Okay. Then we have preparation of parenteral products. Okay. Then filtration, we are going to filtrate, filling, we have sealing of the container, container is getting sealed. Sterilization, sterilization can be done by hot air oven, autoclave, all these things, moisture sterilization, dry heat sterilization, we are going to learn it later on. It is just an overview, evaluation, and then we are going to go for labeling and packaging. Moving on to the first point, that is cleaning and closure of containers. Containers should be washed and dried properly, can be washed by hypochlorite solution. Why? Because obviously if a container is not clean, it will basically incorporate, if we are going to incorporate our drug for our next batch, it will obviously degrade our sample. The previous one can degrade the new samples. Collection of materials, API, vehicles and adjuvants we are going to collect and we are going to mix. Collect all the ingredients, store it, and it should be pyrogen free. This pyrogen free component should be very much clear in your mind. The products, the parenteral products that you are going to make should be pyrogen free. Why it should be pyrogen free? Because if a pyrogen is incorporated inside the body, it will obviously increase our temperature. When the pyrogen is entered inside the body, it will cause a disease, when it can lead to increase in temperature only. Okay, this is what all about. Preparation of parenteral products. How the parenteral product is getting prepared? API is dissolved in vehicle and additives and are added as per standard operating procedure. Isotonicity is maintained, accuracy and pyrogen free environment, aseptic environment should be maintained. Okay, this is what you have to make sure that you should know. Filtration. Parenteral products are entered directly into the contact with blood circulation, so it should be free from any foreign particles. Foreign particles means any of the particle that is being incorporated by mistake or any kind of incorporation of foreign particles inside membrane. Okay, so it should be free from foreign particles, and simple particles matter, so they need to be filtered very carefully. It should be filtered very efficiently. Filling. After the preparation of parenteral products, it need to be filled in appropriate containers, like whatever containers you are going to choose, ampoules, vials, diffusing bottle, it can be filled by machines. Okay, this is what your particular process is all about. You have to just filtration, then you have to fill it as per the particular procedure. Sealing of container. Sealing the container. Sealing of the container is performed by sealing machine. Obviously, when you are making or formulating a particular parenteral product, the next step is sealing. After filling, first of all the step was filtration, then filling. After filling, it is sealing. When you have filled in a particular container, now you are going to seal it. How you are going to seal it? It is performed by sealing machine, so that it can be sealed very properly. In vials, the closure of rubbers is available in ampoules. The neck of ampoules is heated with a hot flame and sealed properly. Okay, this is what all about. You have to just sealing of container is taken place. When you are going with the vials, the rubber should be very much properly available. If the ampoule is there, the neck of the ampoule is heated with a hot flame. Okay, sterilization. Sterilization is important. If your sterility is not maintained, there is no point to incorporate inside the bloodstream, because bloodstream, whenever you are incorporating anything inside the bloodstream, it need to be very much pyrogen free. It should be sterile enough. Okay. For sterilization, we have two things we can go for: dry heat sterilization or moist heat sterilization. Okay. For dry heat sterilization, we have hot air oven, and for moist heat sterilization, we have autoclave. Okay. This is what written over here. Sterilization refers to the process that removes the microbes. We don't want any kind of a microbe in our formulation, because if the microbes is there in our parental products, in our IV route administration, if there is microbe by mistakenly, it can cause it can cause microbial contamination, can cause problem to the patient. Okay, so that's why sterility need to be maintained. Sterility need to be maintained. Dry heat and moist heat sterilization is used. Sterilization in moist heat sterilization can be done by autoclave and majorly used. Majorly autoclave is being used in order to do the sterilization process. Now we are going to go for evaluation of parenterals. How we are going to evaluate that our parenteral is good to go or not? For them, you have lots of process. You can see over here, parenteral are the sterile dosage form, as you all know, intended for administration other than the enteral route and exert the action by directly entering into the systemic circulation. Okay. Clarity test, pyrogen test, leakage test, Lal test. These are the tests we are going to learn one by one. Okay. We have clarity test, pyrogen test, leakage test and Lal test. First of all, clarity test. Clarity means when the solution is clear, whether my solution is clear or not, that need to be incorporated by the means of clarity test. Clarity test is performed to ensure that the parenterals are free from visible foreign particles. What we are going to do, we are going to take our formulation, whatever formulation we have formulated, we are going to take the final container. The final container is subjected individually to the visual inspection. Okay, we have to just keep it in front of a black background or a white background. Okay, and we have to see whether there is a particle suspended in it or not. Each parenteral preparation is in final container is subjected individually to visual inspection. What we are going to do? Visual inspection. This is important to exclude the possibility of foreign particles. The container are held by the neck against a strongly illuminated black or dark background and a white background. What we are going to do, this is our final preparation. What we are going to do, we are just going to go for black background or a white background. We are going to just keep our formulation in front of it, whether it is a black background or white background. If there is a suspending particle inside it, we are able to see that. This is what clarity testing is all about. Seal packaging or leakage testing, whether my formulation, whether my ampoule, whether my vial is having a leakage or not. This is why this test is performed. Okay. The seal ampoules are subjected to small cracks which occur due to rapid temperature changes or due to mechanical shocks. Like for an example, we are taking our formulation from parenteral formulation from one place to other place. There are lots of mechanical stress over there, mechanical shocks over there, that can also cause damage to our parenteral product. It can cause leakage. Okay. So, for check whether our product is having a leakage or not. Why it is important to check the leakage? First of all, if there is a leakage in a product, it can damage our concentration of the container. Obviously, the container have a limited concentration. If the leakage is there, the leakage is, our ampoule is damaged, it is broken, the seal is broken, obviously it can cause problem in incorporation. Vials and the bottles are not suitable for this test because the sealing material used is not rigid. Obviously, vials and the bottles are not suitable for this test because they are not rigid. Filled and sealed ampoules is dipped in 1% of methylene blue. How we are going to do this test? We are going to do this test in ampoule. Ampoule is dipped in 1% of methylene blue solution. Methylene blue is obviously blue in color. Okay, then we are going to keep it in the vacuum. When we are going to keep it inside the vacuum, it can cause coloration. Obviously, if there is a leakage inside our chamber, if there is a leakage in our parental product, it can cause blue color inside the solution. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are just going to keep our marketed formulation inside 1% of methylene blue solution, okay, under vacuum or under negative pressure, and after that, if the solution vacuum released, colored solution entered into the ampoule defective sealing. If there is a colored solution, our parental product is colored because it is kept in methylene blue, right. So, it can be causing color damage. So, it can cause color. If there is a color, if it is blue in color, then obviously the particular seal is damaged. Next is pyrogen testing. Pyrogen are those agents that are, when entered inside the body, it increases the temperature of a body. Okay. Pyrogen testing, pyrogen means, pyro means Greek or fire, pyro means fire and gen means beginning. Okay. These fire, what is fire basically? Fire means the arc, we can say fire. Fire, what does fire do? It increases the temperature. When we are having a fire, we are having matchstick, we are having a fire, obviously it can, the light we have, it provides heat. So, from that it comes pyrogen. When the foreign element or the particular endotoxin that enters inside the body, it causes a high temperature inside the body, causing fever. For an example, you can see that if the person is there, if is having fever, what happened to him is the entry of pyrogen inside the body, because pyrogen has a quality that it increases the pH of the particular, it increases the temperature, it increases the temperature. Fever producing metabolic byproducts of microbial growth and death. Bacterial pyrogens are called as endotoxin. Gram negative bacteria produce more potent endotoxin than a gram positive bacteria and fungi, first of all. So, what we are going to do, we have to go for pyrogen testing. What is the use of doing the pyrogen testing? Because if there is a pyrogen inside of a marketed formulation, if that marketed formulation is incorporated inside a patient, that patient can obviously have fever, or the high temperature, high heat can be incorporated inside the particular patient. Like for an example, if there is marketed formulation is there is a pyrogen inside it. If that that formulation is injected inside the patient body through the needle or the IV route, subcutaneous route, then if there is a pyrogen inside it, it lead to fever to that particular patient. It can lead to microbial infection, it can lead to fever to that particular patient. For testing, we have LAL test for that. LAL test. LAL test is Limulus aminocyte lysate testing. Okay. Also known as bacterial endotoxin testing, as in vitro assay used to detect that the presence and concentration of bacterial endotoxin in a drug and biological products as an important part for pharmaceutical preparation. LAL test is basically used to detect the endotoxin that is present inside a human body or not, okay, in a particular formulation or not. We have to just check it out whether our formulation is having pyrogen or not. We are going to go for LAL test. Now, let us move on to the production facilities. What are the production facilities that we are going to go for? There are lots of things. First of all, what is the need of learning the production facilities? As I told you, this is a parental preparation, it need to be pyrogen free, it need to be sterile. So, for that, production of a sterile product should be carried out in a clean environment with a limit for environment quality, microbial and dust particle contamination. Okay. The limit for contamination is necessary to reduce the product contamination. There are lots of things that we need to think. Cleanup area is there, compounding area, aseptic area, quarantine area, and the last is packaging and labeling area. We are going to learn one by one what are the production facilities we can go for. Okay, number one is cleanup area. What is cleanup area? Basically, this is a flow diagram. We are going to learn it later on. First of all, learn about some sections. Cleanup section. Cleanup section is the cleaning area, are the walls and ceilings made up of film coating materials. Okay. Air inside the clean area should be free from dust and microorganisms. This is ensured through the high efficiency of 95% of filters. Okay. That is called clean up section. Compounding area is the area where weighing is taking place. All the raw materials are getting weighed inside a stainless steel cabinet okay, where you are going to just have a cover. The person who is weighing the particular product is also wearing all the clothes, is covered from head to toe, although whatever he is weighing, that weighing should be done in stainless steel cabinets and counters. Okay. Unlike aseptic area, maintenance of sterile condition is not essential, but necessary measures should be adopted to control the dust generated by the raw materials during the weighing and compounding. All the weighing and compounding that need to be done should be done in such a manner that all the particular product, all the raw material should not produce dust, although it should be sterile condition, it should be in an aseptic environment, and it should be done in stainless steel cabinet counters. Another area is aseptic area. Aseptic area is basically the area which has a strict control measure should be adopted to avoid the contamination of the preparation. The stainless steel counters and cabinets should be such that they should not allow dirt particles to accumulate. Okay. Mixing and storage of a compound preparation should be done outside the aseptic area. Should not be done there. First of all, what is the need of aseptic area? Aseptic area should be pyrogen free. It helps the product to be safe from any kind of a pyrogen or foreign materials. Okay, they need to be pyrogen free. It should be sterile enough. The HEPA filter would be placed inside it. Clean area, aseptic area, all these things are one of the another section we are going to study. So, aseptic area where we have HEPA filters. What is HEPA filter? It's basically high efficiency particulate air. What does HEPA filter do? It filter out all the room air, all the particular air, and then it is being incorporated inside the laminar airflow. What are the aseptic area we have? Laminar air flow. This equipment is being used to maintain the aseptic environment or aseptic sterility testing over here. Okay. So, all these steel counters and cabinet should be used in order to avoid the dirt particle that is being accumulated while mixing and storage of a compounded preparation. Quarantine section. What is the meaning of the word quarantine? Quarantine, as we all know, is basically when your particular area where it is being isolated, the storage place we can say. Whenever you are weighing particular compound, what we are going to do, we are going for quarantine section. We are going to keep all the weighed product into a separate storage room. Why we are going to keep it in a storage room? Because if you are not keeping it inside the storage room, it can mix up with another drugs. There are 5 to 6 kind of a drug, maybe it can placed in a particular room, or there are lots of raw material that can be placed in a particular room. We need to make sure that they can be stored. A technician should be always there in the quarantine section. The area consists of a store where the in process batches as well as approved batches are stored separately. This is what all about. Quarantine section is the area where the storage takes place. The raw materials coming from the compounding area need to be stored in quarantine area. That quarantine area is basically used for providing separation of particular raw materials. We have packaging and labeling area. Packaging and labeling plays a very vital role, because if you are not doing packaging in a proper manner, it can be obviously avoiding the leakage. Packaging is carried out by packaging machines while labels are obtained over printing devices. Okay. Whenever you are producing a product, when your formulation of a printed product is taken place, you need to make sure that only one product at a time is produced, because if there is a change in label, it can cooperate up to at a time only one product labels are printed. This is important. Parenteral packaging plays a vital role in the production of sterile preparation. Packaging should be carried out in such a manner that sterility of a product is maintained. Okay. Whenever there is a sterile preparation, the label should mention the product is sterile, the product is pyrogen free. Obviously, the product is sterile, storage instructions should be always there, the name of a product, isotonicity, what is the label, manufacturing, all the data details, expiry date is mentioned in the particular packaging and labeling. And one of the most important point that you need to think is, at a time only one product is labeled, else if your label is getting mixed and matched with the other label, it can cause harm to the patient only. Walls and ceilings. Walls of the particular aseptic area where the production is taking place are first of all made up of very non-inflammable and fire resistant material. Why? In an industry, if you are going to an industry, just notice the walls and ceilings. The walls and the ceilings are basically non-inflammable and fire resistant. Okay, so that it cannot catch fire very easily. It should be non-inflammable, of course. example stainless steel, glass, enamel steel, all these things are getting used. Generally plaster walls are easily damaged by the impact, and for reduction of fungal growth, because there is a chance if there is a fungal growth inside the walls, all the walls, it can cause fungal growth to our product. So, for prevention of fungal growth, 1% of 8-hydroxyquinol, pentachlorophenol, etc. may be added to the particular paint. That paint that need to be applied in the particular wall need to be take care that it should prevent the fungal growth, also it should prevent the cracking, it should prevent the peeling, all these things need to be taken care. Epoxy resins paints and polyurethane paints are used to avoid the cracking and peeling. Okay, cracking and peeling plays a major role, because if your product is having, if your room is having cracking and peeling on the walls, obviously it can cause microbial contamination onto that. Okay, the ceilings are sealed to prevent the entry of microbial contamination. We have to make sure that the ceilings and walls should be designed in such a way, the windows should not be there first of all. If the windows is there, the grooves should be too smooth, the blunt ends will be there, there should be no corners in the rooms. All these things need to be make sure while we are while we are going in a process room where the parental preparations are taking place. Internal fittings such as cupboards, drawers, shelves, equipments must be kept minimum. Whenever you are keeping your minimum, you are keeping it all minimum. Okay, this is what all about walls and ceilings. Okay. So, what we have learned in this particular area is basically about processing of parenterals. Okay. Processing of parenterals basically in this lecture what we have learned about the processing of parenterals. Processing of parenterals, where we have to connect all the particular cleaning of a container, clothing and equipment should be takes place, collection of materials should be takes place. Then I told you preparation of parenteral products, filtration and filling. Then we have sealing of containers, sterilization, evaluation, labeling and packaging. All these things need to be incorporated while we are doing the processing of parenteral products. Okay. So, all these things that I told you in this particular lecture need to be incorporated very well. Another thing I told you was evaluation of parenterals. Evaluation of parenterals is very much important because parenteral products are basically pyrogen free, they need to be incorporated directly into the systemic circulation. When it is being incorporated inside the systemic circulation, they need to be very much care. All these things need to be keep in mind while we are doing the formulation of parenteral preparation. We have clarity testing, pyrogen testing, leakage test, Lal test. All these tests are need to be done. Clarity testing, as I told you, is a testing when you have to check the clarity of a particular sample. You are making a formulation is getting produced. So, the final preparation need to be ensured that there is no visible foreign particles that is being present inside your particular formulation. Okay. Each parenteral preparation in the final container is subjected individually to visual inspection. That parenteral preparation need to be hold in front of a black background or a white background. Okay. Dark particles or white particles are being incorporated. This is an important point that you need to learn about it. Okay. Leakage test, as I told you, leakage is very much important, because if your particular container is having a leakage problem, obviously your concentration can affect. Okay. Or obviously your isotonicity can also be affected, as I told you in the previous lectures. Vials and bottles are not suitable for the test because of the sealing material is too rigid. Another thing I told you, ampules is dipped in 1% of methylene blue. What is the process I told you is 1% of methylene blue solution. We are going to dip our ampule, the prepared ampule, we are going to dip inside it, and then it is stored in a 1% of methylene blue solution, and then we have to check we have a defective sealing or not. Pyrogen testing, as I told you, pyrogen are the foreign elements that is used for that we have to check whether there is a bacterial pyrogen present in the human parenteral preparation or not, because if there is pyrogen inside the preparation, it can lead to increasing temperature inside the body. For testing, Lal test is performed. This is what I told you. Another thing, production facilities, let I explain. In the production facilities, we have lots and lots of areas: cleanup area, compounding area, aseptic area, quarantine area, packaging area and labeling area. Okay. Cleanup area, as I told you, we have office over here, compounding area, aseptic filling area, quarantine area. Quarantine area is where storage takes place. Okay. Quality control section is there where quality is getting maintained, packaging and labeling. The packaging is getting maintained, sterilization, cleanup area and stock room. These all have to be maintained very much efficiently. Okay, this is what we have learnt about cleanup section where we have high efficiency HEPA filters are present so that all the materials are getting filtered out. Compounding area where weighing is taken place. When I told you about aseptic area, in the aseptic area we have laminar airflow. In the laminar airflow we have obviously stainless steel cabinet centers. Here HEPA filter is applied. Laminar flow are of two types, vertical laminar flow or horizontal laminar airflow. Okay. This is what we have learned. So, aseptic area need to be maintained by the means of laminar airflow. Then we have quarantine section. Quarantine section is basically when separate storage is taken place. Okay. All the products that you have weighed in the compounding area is stored in this quarantine section. Then we have packaging and labeling that need to be taken care while we are doing all these things. Labels should be printed one at a time. Okay. Parenteral products plays a vital role in protection of sterile preparation. Okay. All the packaging and labeling should be done in such a manner that the confusion regarding the particular product should not be there. It should be clear, manufacturing details, company name, all the things, brand name, expiry date should be maintained. Okay. Walls and ceilings, as I told you, all these things have to be make sure. Enamel seal walls. Okay. Prevention of fungal growth, we can add 8-hydroxy hydroquinone pentachloride in our paint, and also we can prevent cracking and peeling. Cupboards, drawers, shelf and equipment should be avoided. Okay. Thank you so much. The next lecture will be on aseptic processing, so stay tuned.